confusion regarding NIE, right? We don't know if it's residency permit card, what is it? So I'm not sure, maybe somebody from the public could respond to this. Is there anyone in the public who really knows what the NIE number is and who could explain it well?
NIE number is just a number of identification for foreigner, and it's usually called white paper, with white NIE, because it's just a number on a white paper. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, this number, it's just an identification for taxes purposes, but nothing to do with residency. Both European and non-European need this number, and it's different between Europeans and non-Europeans. NIE number, it's just something you can. You need to have realize any investment in Spain, or just to live. For example, Thomas, who is a European, doesn't need a white NIE, but a green NIE, the usually called green NIE, which is a certificate from European Community testifying that he is living in Spain for more than 3 months. And to do that, he needs to register at police and obtain this green paper with a number. If you already had in the past the white NIE, the number will be always the same because it doesn't change. I don't know if you have an example, no? Yeah. This is the green NIE, and the process to obtain this document is more or less the same for the white NIE and the green NIE. The only difference is that obviously the green NIE, as it is a residency permit for European, need different requirements, especially for economic reasons. For the white NIE, it's only necessary the justification of the document. Instead, for the green NIE, depends if you are working in Spain already or you want to realize an investment. The requirements are different in these cases. And you can obtain these documents at the consulate, the Spanish consulate abroad, or in Spain, going to the police station and register there, applying with a form, with paying the tax related to this permit, and giving the justification of the reason why you need this number. It's just an identification for fiscal purposes. So that's it.
Thank you, Mauro. Since you seem to know something, stay around if there are other questions maybe as well. This is also something that might cause some confusion. You didn't explain, Mauro, what is the tier? Because it's the third concept, apart from the white NIE, the green NIE. So what is the tier?
Yes, hello. Hello, my name is Fiona. Yes, the TIE, not to mistake with the NIE explained before, is the card that get foreigners when they apply to one of the residency permits. And they get this TIE when they get an authorization, residence permit, and they have to get their fingerprints taken at the police station first in order to get it.
Yes, so the Mexican friend, as Fiona was saying, absolutely cannot come here just with the NIE. There is more than 30 different residency permit options here.
I'm aware that so that the community goes around, they need to pay taxes. And I've heard that also you need to be a tax resident. And what is this?
Probably one of the most crucial questions for all of us. What happens when you become tax residents and you have to start paying taxes here? Is there anyone in the public who knows the answer to the tax questions and whose microphone is working? Lucine,
Hello, can you hear me? If you don't hear, just make like this and I will stop. I'm Lucina. So basically, tax residency is often confused with residency, the immigrational term of residency, but they are totally different concepts. When you stay in Spain for more than 183 days per calendar year, that is to say from January 1st till the 31st of December, you have a risk of becoming tax resident. What that means, a tax resident is liable fiscally for their worldwide income, not only what is generated or obtained in Spain, but for whatever they have or the income they generate outside of Spain. And this is an important concept to keep in mind when you decide to stay for a longer time to see whether you like living in Spain or not, because it may have fiscal consequences. So which are the criteria of understanding? Because 183 days per year is just one of the criteria. For example, if you come for work, you stay here for 7 or 8 months, but your main housing, your main residence where you live, the house, is in another country, you have a spouse, you have minor kids who also live in the other country, then you can challenge that you are not tax resident. What that means, for non-tax residents, the taxation is only for whatever they obtain from Spain. And I think for Thomas and everyone, because Spain is very appealing for people to move, it's important to check whether it's beneficial for you to become a tax resident in Spain or not.
Is there any specific stack taxes that I really need to take care of, that are sort of a list that what is there for me?
So when a person becomes a tax resident, there are 3 main tax obligations. One regarding the personal income, which includes your salaries, even if you're working on remote. So be careful. This does not mean that if your employer is not a Spanish company, it doesn't mean that you are not obtaining an income that should be taxed in Spain. Remote working can also be taxed. So personal income tax includes rental incomes, or for example, if you're on pension, you receive pensions, etc. But all this is regulated thanks to bilateral agreements between the countries in order to avoid double taxation. So this means that at no case you will be paying taxes in 2 places, but it's very important to analyze convention between countries to see where and to what extent you are fiscally liable. And then most important and the big surprise for many people is the wealth tax. Wealth tax, let's say it's a luxury tax. For example, in Catalonia, if whatever you have around the world, being a tax resident, passes the threshold of the $500,000, then you may be subject to the wealth tax. And those 500,000 euros are per person. For example, if you have a joint property with your spouse, then only your portion is taken into account. So whatever excesses that threshold will be subject to the wealth tax. Of course, certain debts can be taken out, but this is a surprise that many people do not know, and be careful. If you can be preselected for the Forbes list, be careful with the wealth tax. And then also we have the 720 declaration, and this is for declaring all your foreign assets. Imagine you have no income, you live on Spain on your savings, and in your foreign bank accounts you have money, you have houses all around the world, and if in each category the value is more than 50,000 euros, you are obliged to declare it to the Spanish tax administration. But again, this is only for people who are tax residents. And it doesn't matter whether you are a European citizen or you are from a non-EU country. When you become a tax resident, all these obligations arises. Any question, Thomas?
Thank you. That was a perfect answer. But it sort of takes to the next question, which is sort of, you mentioned working remotely. What if I want to only work remotely? Business here in Spain. What do I then need to take into account?
A question, because the micro is up. Well, just important to keep in mind also the the tax filing. The personal tax file should be presented by the end of June. The wealth tax is declared the same way as the personal income tax, and foreign assets under the model 720 are declared just once by the end of the March, and the next submission you do only if in your assets there is an increase for more than 20,000 euros. If everything stays below, there is no need to submit 720 each year.
Wonderful, Lucina, thank you. There was a question about remote working, entrepreneurship. How does that work? Is there anybody who would like to answer that question?
So, Thomas, hello, I am Carol. So, Thomas, as you are an European, I understand that you can remote work and start a business in Spain easily, okay? If you are remote working, okay, you have two options to make sure that you will pay the social securities correctly, which is very important. So these options are either you are transferred by your European employer by the certificate A1, or you register your foreign employer, European employer, as an employer here in Spain, okay? And it's important for you to know that if you decide to stay for more than 6 months here in Spain, you will have to pay the personal income tax, okay? And it's good to keep that in mind. And if you want to start a business, you can register yourself as a self-employed called Autónomo, okay? And you can register yourself at the tax and social securities authorities, or you can set up a limited liability company. So you have these options.
Okay, so as my colleague said, there's more than 30 residency permits in Spain, so I think we have a lot of ways for the persons from the not part of the European Union to choose a work and residency permit. And it depends of your own circumstances. For example, I'm going to talk about more the basics ones. For example, if you want to come to Spain, you can live in Spain but without the right to work, then in this case you will need to process in the Spanish consulate, for example, a non-lucrative visa, which allows you to be in Spain for a year and you're able to renew it every 2 years. And for that you will need to prove that you have enough money in a bank account, financial resources, at least 35,000 euros, plus a private health insurance, okay? Then, for example, if you want money, want to do an investment in Spain in real estate, I think everyone know about the golden visa, which is invest at least 500,000 euros with no mortgages, and then you can acquire a golden visa. It's a bit worse than residency permit, valid for 2 years, okay? And you can work for yourself, for others. And one of the main advantages of the work and residency permit, I think actually is the only one, which allows you to be in Spain without being a tax resident. What does it mean? Basically, you can be in Spain 1 month, live Spain for 10 months, and then go back again, and in the future be able to renew this work and residency permit. Then we have another options, for example, the work and residency permit for entrepreneurs. Imagine that you come to Spain and you really like it, you have a Schengen visa for 90 days maximum, but you want to stay here and start up your own project. So if you have an innovative project and this project maybe can create a job positions in Spain, then from Spain you can directly apply for a work and residency permit for entrepreneurs. But you have to do like a very specific business plan. And of course the immigration authorities must approve this business plan. And then you will need to work on this project and it will renew every 2 years. And another option, maybe you have a job offer in Spain. And if you have a job offer from a Spanish company, from a Spanish entity, who will offer you at least 41,000 euros per year. If you are under 30 years old, in this case, it's not 41,000 euros, it's 31,000 euros per year. And you have a university degree with apostille or master degree, then you can also ask directly from Spain a work and residency permit that will be renewed. So much better that? Yeah? Okay. And there's also people asking me about the digital nomad visa. Everyone asks about that, but the point is that this work and residency permit, maybe it's active in other countries of the European Union, but right now at the same at this moment it's not active in Spain. So we don't know when it's going to be active. But so as soon as it gets, then we will see the main requirements. As I said again, this is like an example of a work and residency permit that you can get, but there's more than 30, and of course, of every situation it's different. Okay? Thank you.
you. So that's it, the bureaucracy, the taxes, the social security, the work and residency permit. Now, before we make the quiz to see who is going to take a friend home here, let's ask your questions. We have lots and lots of experience and talent here who can answer your questions. So whatever you want to know, and if not, Tuomas can keep on asking questions. The most common ones that the foreigners have. Is there anyone who would like to ask a question? There is one.
Maybe this is a very easygoing question, but which is the name of the office where you actually pay your taxes?
Can you hear me? Hello? Okay. So if we are talking in general, the tax agency in Spain, it's called la AEAT, or in Spanish they just say la Hacienda, and this is the central tax administration. Many taxes, they have a shared competence between the central administration and local administration. For example, personal income tax is collected jointly, so in order to for budgeting, no? But there are specific taxes like the wealth tax, it's paid to the local administration, but everything is filed through one platform, through the platform of the La AEAT. If you want to visit their website, if not, with the help of the professionals, but it's called La Hacienda, or La AEAT, Administración Estatal de Administración Tributaria, the tax agency.
If I get a working residence permit, who from my family can I bring to Spain together with me, and who can stay with me, like my partner, children, parents, sisters, brothers? Thank you.
Can you hear me? Yes? What kind of work and residency permit do you have right now?
Permanent labor contract with the Spanish company.
Okay, so you said that you have a permanent labor contract, but the point is, regardless the contract, first of all, we need to know what kind of work and residency permit. As I said before, for example, I don't know, maybe you have a highly qualified visa, because with the highly qualified visa, at the same time that you're processing your work and permit, you can ask for your partner or for your wife, for your kids under 18 years old, but you have kids more than 18 years old, as long as they don't have their own family, they don't have enough money, so you can prove that you still transfers to them, so you maintain them, you can also bring them, okay? And the same happens to your parents, for example. Currently, right now, from August 15, the law has changed a little bit, and everyone is talking about that we can bring our parents for more than 65 years old. But this is not for all the cases. If we're talking about very specific work and residency permit, as it could be, for example, the highly qualified visa, in these cases, you still need to prove that you maintain your parents, you do the transfer, and it's not valid, like, for example, do 2, 3, 4 transfers per year. You have to show before the Spanish immigration authorities that you have doing transfer, that at least per year, and that without this money, this person cannot live in this country. So, so there's not a specific document which can help you. It's more about the immigration to see if what you're proving it's okay or not. Okay?
Yeah, hello. Maybe a question from the Ukrainian side. If you have a temporal residency permit because of the permanent protection in European Union, so how would you pay your taxes here if you're working remotely on your company in Ukraine? Thank you.
Hello. The technology takes us more time, but the question regarding, as I've mentioned, if you're working on remote, depending on what the bilateral convention between Ukraine and Spain says, and in the majority of countries, if you're working on remote and independently that the outcome of your work is consumed in Ukraine, you being a tax resident in Spain, you pay the taxes here, and if in Ukraine something has been withheld from your payslip, you can deduct it, because the country of tax residency gives you what is called the tax credit to deduct what has been withheld. This is true only about the salaries. Other types of income like dividends, etc., this is another story. But for salaries, in the majority of countries except the US, the rule is that you are physically here as an employee, you pay taxes in Spain, deducting what has been withheld with your foreign employer in the country where the headquarters are.
If you still have some questions, you'll find us here or at the stand of Talenom over there. Thank you.